What are you saying? That's my boy. That's my boy. What you saying? Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that. Bam. Shutting down the haters. Come on.
As you can tell, I am a little bit excited because my boy Bubba got the W. Shutting down those haters. You love to see it. You love to see it. Welcome back to the episode of MDK Racing Victory Stop. As you can tell, I'm very happy. And what was a really good race in Kansas for the second race for the round of 12. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Tire issues, penalties, and playoff drivers getting themselves into trouble. Let's jump into it. Now, stage one had a lot of things. It had drama, it had penalties, it had tire issues. The drama, Kevin Harvick and Tyler Reddick. Kevin Harvick came into this race 13 points below the cut line. He needed to win, or at least have a real good chance. He didn't need to win, but he needed to have a real good run here today to avoid going into Bristol under the threat of having to win in order to advance. Yeah, that didn't happen. Chastain doing what he does best, causing other drivers to crash. He created a 4-wide battle, which was exciting, but very nerve-wracking and unnecessary so early in the race. It's just trying to force the issue. Pushes up the racetrack, pushes Bubba up. Bubba slides up right in front of Kevin Harvick. Harvick slides and slams the outside wall a ton, ending his race. And he would end up finishing dead last as a result of that crash. He now goes out of Kansas, heading into Bristol, 35 points below the cut line. Basically, he has to win if he wants to advance into the round of 12. After what seemed to be the type of driver that we thought he would be at least into the round of 8, maybe. He now could be in threat of being out in the round of 16. It is absolutely incredible. And Tyler Reddick, he started on pole, had a real great run, took the lead from Alex Bowman after the competition caution, I should say. All by himself, cuts a right rear tire, slams the outside wall, breaks, I believe, suspension underneath the car. He ends his day. He's out of it. He finishes 35th. So, yeah, two drivers that were looking to have real solid runs. Reddick was looking at this race as a shot at maybe winning. He's now out of it. And yeah, but already two drivers, not even stage one ending, and already two playoff drivers having issues. I mean, now you also have some drivers with penalties. Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. They were all caught having issues for penalties on pit road. Everyone but Hamlin was caught speeding. Hamlin had an equipment interference. And yeah, it was just overall a very chaotic stage number one. But Bowman and Bell, they were the class of the field. Like I said, Bowman, he led the early ways until the competition caution. Then Reddick took over, and then Bell was able to beat out Ryan Blaney in an 8-lap shootout to win stage one. So what you saw in this race was Chevrolet, stage one and stage two. Chevrolet was real good on the short runs, it seemed. And in the long runs, it was Toyota that would rise up. Now, stage two, you had Martin Truex Jr. and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that were the top two earlier in the stage. Truex started 20th, fell back because of that speeding penalty, worked his way up towards the front. He looked like a bullet on the racetrack from how fast he was, just passing cars left and right, top, bottom, didn't matter where he was just flying. And when stage two began, he was able to start side by side with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and they would remain 1-2 until lap 110. Stenhouse, running in second, again, cuts a right rear tire, slams the wall. Although it wasn't as significant as Reddick, he would finish, I believe, in the 30th place. He was out of the race. Obviously, it caused some damage underneath the race car. Wasn't as severe as Reddick's, but he was out of the race. Yeah, we saw a lot of penalties, a lot of playoff drivers getting involved in issues, and tire issues, thanks to Goodyear. What a surprise. We had more drivers having issues, playoff drivers, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez. They were all penalized for equipment interference, and Martin Truex Jr. had a loose wheel, so he had to come back onto pit road after the Stenhouse incident. Then on a restart, William Byron and Alex Bowman, they start side by side. Behind them, Denny Hamlin and Keselowski make contact mid-pack. Eric Jones then makes contact with Harrison Burton and Corey LaJoie in the checkup. Almirola, LaJoie, and Byrne then get collected, with Byrne and LaJoie slamming the outside wall hard, ending both of their days. Then on lap 138, Kyle Busch, again having issues, spins out all by himself in turn 4, blows the right front tires in the slide, doesn't hit anything, brings out the caution, and after that, he was just not the same. He was able to recover after that equipment interference, but after that spin, he was just nowhere near as good. He would finish outside the top 20. He was just no longer the same after that spin. So Bowman won stage 2, but it was Toyota and Bubba Wallace that started to come to play. So in stage 2, when stage 2 began, Bubba started 31st. because he had a loose wheel, had to come back onto pit road, and he drove his way up from 31st up to the top 5 and was the fastest car, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. You know, he passed Elliott. He was running down to the top 5 and was even on his way to passing William Byron for 3rd place right before the stage ended. So we all knew that Bubba has a shot to win this race. And when stage 3 happened, right before that, we had our pit stops. Bubba's pit crew actually gained him 2 spots, went from 4th to 2nd. He was able to be side by side with Bowman for the start. However, again, short runs, Chevrolets, long runs, Toyotas. So in the short runs, the Toyotas fell back, including Bubba, fell back to 5th place. Bowman, Larson, Byron, those drivers took off. But in the later run, as the longer we got into a run, the Toyotas came to life. Bubba, you know, passed those drivers, now was within 1.5 or so seconds behind of Bowman, then just ate away at Bowman's lead and passed by him like he was nothing. I was shocked by how quick he caught him and passed him. So he was the fastest car. Not yet. Because you had his teammate. Well, I shouldn't say his teammates, the Toyota teammates, Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin. They were actually much faster than Bubba. 1.5, 2 tenths per lap faster than Bubba Wallace. But what saved Bubba was his pit crew. Because the lead was within under 2 seconds, or at least 2.5 seconds, around that era. However, after the final pit stop, him and his crew got on a flawless pit road from start to finish. They were flawless on pit road, a 10.1 second stop. That lead went from 2 to 2.5 seconds to 4.5, 5 seconds ahead of Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin. But again, with those two drivers of Bell and Hamlin being much faster, you saw them eat away at Bubba's lead. It went from 5, 4.5, 3.8. I mean, they were just eating away at Bubba's lead. Not only did Bubba not have a faster car than them, but also you had Bubba dealing with lap traffic, and he was having a tough time getting around those guys. So that just helped Bell and Hamlin even more. Then Hamlin started to come to life. He got by Christopher Bell and started to run down his driver, Bubba Wallace. But even though he was eating away at his lead, it was within, I think, a second, or at least just above a second with around a handful of laps to go. Bubba was able to hold on and win his first career race that is not a rain delay. His second career Cup Series win overall, becomes the series' 18th different winner, which is second in the most of any NASCAR season in the modern era. The most was 19 back in 2001. We're going to beat that record. I think we can get at least 20 winners. You still have Blaney and Truex that hasn't won. And you got Talladega, where Buescher could win, Keselowski, anyone. So I think there's a real good chance that we can have more than 20 winners in 2022. But feel good win, because even though Bobo's not in the playoffs, he is in the Owners' Championship. So he advances onto the round of 12 in the Owners' standings. So you got that to look forward to. But yeah, what a win from Bubba. He absolutely earned this win. Like I said, led 58 laps to victory. He put on a performance, and he definitely earned the win. And shut down those haters. Oh, man. The comment section of this video is not going to be pretty. I just know it. But let's take a look at the race results, shall we? So, Bubba Wallace wins. He and Martin Truex Jr. are the only two drivers that are not in the playoffs inside the top 10. How about that? 4 of the top 5 were all Toyota drivers. Bubba, Hamlin, Bell, and Truex. Bowman and the sandwich in the middle in 4th. Byron, Chastain, Larson, and Blaney, a solid top 10 finish for him, and as well as Daniel Suarez. Elliott, 11th, Cindric, Briscoe, Dillon, and Buescher, the top 15. Logano finishes in 17th. Just never had the car to be able to compete with the top drivers. Eric Almirola finishes 21st after that crash. Then some other notables like Brad Keselowski, 25th. Kyle Busch, 26th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 30th. Harrison Burton and Corey LaJoie, 32nd, 33rd. Ty Gibbs, 34th, after he was involved in a crash involving Corey LaJoie. Was tagged by him on the back straightaway, sent him into the outside wall. Then cut a tire not too long after. So basically, 2011 got first, got the front of the pack and the back of the pack. First and 34th. As well, then you see Tyler Reddick and Kevin Harvick, 35th and 36th. And now let's take a look at the playoff grid. With one race to go in the round of 16, Christopher Bell is the only one that can sleep well tonight. He is in. You have to be at least 52 points above the cut line in order to advance. Bell being plus 58. He is safe. William Byron on back. They are not safe. But Byron, Hamlin, Logano, Blaney, Bowman, Elliott, Larson, and Chastain have a little bit of a buffer. Just a little bit of a buffer. However, Suarez on back. They are really close on the cut line. Suarez +6, Reddick and Cindric +2. Cindric, the last driver in. And how about this? 2 former Cup champions of Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick currently out. Busch -2, Harvick -35, and then you have Dillon and Briscoe sandwiched in between -3 and -9 respectfully. And Harvick is the only driver that can only make the playoffs or to the round of 12 with the win. But yeah, that is, oof. I mean, this race I think had everything. You had playoff drama, you had real great racing, really good racing. Mid-pack, even later on into a run, saw some real solid racing. Great tire strategy, even though tires were a bit of an issue thanks to Goodyear. I thought it was a real solid race. 7.5, 8 out of 10. You know, it was a typical Kansas race. Kansas usually puts on some very entertaining shows, so I'm not surprised by this type of race. So yeah, I thought it was real solid. 7.5, 8 out of 10. There was nothing really you can complain about it. In terms of the racing, not talking about the winner, in terms of racing, I don't think there was much you could really complain about it, but overall, as you can tell, I am happy because my boy Bubba won. I'll admit I'm a little bit biased. If I thought this race was really, really good, I'll bite a little bit of bias, but everyone has that. But yeah, I'm very happy that my boy Bubba finally got the job done. What are your thoughts on this race? Tell me in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you not? Hopefully it's going to be civil. I highly doubt that, but anyways, let me know your thoughts. Until next time, my name is Jett from MDK. Thank y'all so much for watching. Congratulations to my boy Bubba, your winner in Kansas.